Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Jen. Welcome to Dave and Jen Ignite. I am racking my brain. I just have no idea what to get you for Christmas this year, honey. Come on now, help me out.
How about a book?
A book? You?
What?
I know better. He loves to read. It's
Whenever
great.
I get a chance.
I know.
And I suspect there are people in your life who enjoy reading as well, or who perhaps could be encouraged to reading. And so today, our video is entitled Christmas Gifts to Ignite Your Literary World.
Absolutely.
I don't want to rush it, but a bunch of books in a fairly timely fashion for you to consider as gifts to your friends, your loved ones, your significant others. We're going to start with some devotionals. And one that has been inspirational for many people for a long, long time has been My Utmost for His Highest. Now this comes in an updated language format as well, and we'll link all these books in the comments or the description below. But My Utmost for His Highest, challenging. This is deep stuff. This is not for the light of heart, faint of heart. This will take you deep. This will challenge most followers of Jesus Christ to a deeper walk. But it's well worth it. 365 days devotional. Each devotional is one page. So it'll be worth their time and challenging. And perhaps you really want to get one for yourself if you don't have one already. And read with the person. Say, hey, what do you think of today's reading? You know, just something to think about.
And there's also some great music that was written to go along with many of the days that Oswald Chambers, the author of this book, had put together. So some wonderful Christian artists have put together music that goes along with them too, and it's incredible.
We won't be talking a lot about the authors, but we will highlight them just because their lives are important. Another book that I have recently found, I've taken up hunting in the last few years, and I hope that doesn't offend anybody, but it is, it's how we have harvested a lot of our food for a number of centuries. And there's a book entitled A Look at Life from the Deer Stand by Steve Chapman. And I find it to just be wonderful. He takes some scriptures, puts them with a hunting thought, and then brings them into everyday life. And I have enjoyed reading that, especially when I'm getting ready to go out and hunt. But I try to read it on a fairly regular basis anytime I just need to get away. It's a great book, a great devotional for that. A look at life from a deer stand.
And he would have it here to show you, except it's probably in the deer stand right now.
Maybe. It is hunting season.
It is. It sure is. Something else that has been really popular over the last several years is a devotional that we've talked about before entitled Jesus Calling. And it's very good at hitting where we are. And you might open it up and the first sentence could just speak right to you. The author, Sarah Young, writes it as if she is speaking Jesus' words. Now, she's not claiming to be Jesus by any stretch of the imagination. It's a devotional that said this. Jesus might say this to you. And then there are also scriptures in here, included in this particular version, that just, oh my, those scriptures are what I write down and what I put on my refrigerator. And so this has been a great gift. And I've given this out several times to encourage people just to get into the Word.
Again, authors of devotionals, these are devotionals. These aren't, the Word of God necessarily, although I think God has definitely spoken to each of us through these devotionals. So, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's an old phrase. But just because maybe you don't like the author, or maybe there's a page or two that you think, oh, that's got some influence that I don't like, go ahead, keep reading. And let God speak to you, because there are some great things in there. So that's great. Well, let's move to some more specific interest devotionals. And so, for example, there are Bibles published with specific interests, jobs, occupations in focus. For example, there is a law enforcement / peacemakers Bible. And I have looked at that as a chaplain, and it's a great Bible. And of course, anytime you can get someone to read the Bible, the scriptures, is a good thing. And so perhaps just that special interest would be a great gift if you know somebody who's in law enforcement. That could be a great gift for them. And there's one for firefighters. Again, if you know a firefighter, perhaps be a great gift for them this Christmas season.
There's also one designed for teachers. And sometimes there might be the devotional that is affiliated with either the Bible itself. If it's a teacher's Bible, they oftentimes have devotionals in there, and it'll say, think of that child in the classroom who does this or that. And so it's very appropriate and really helps to just encourage those in their walk of life too, in their career.
Well, let's go on into specific interests and also specific Bibles. So this is the Bible I use. Once again, let me just refer you to another video we did called Which Translation of the Bible Should I Use? It'll go into more details, but there are Bibles out there that are really nice, that are $25 or less. Now they go up to $60, $70, $80, but it doesn't have to always be a leather bound. It can be, a soft back of more paperish, but they are great specific interest Bibles out there as well. This one is a study Bible, Life Application Study Bible. There are others, but just refer to that video about which translation of the Bible should I use, and that can be helpful for you.
And you probably have little ones in your realm that you think, I want to get them a book. Well, there's so many great books out there, and some of them are from a Christian perspective. Some of them are just great fun storybooks where they can use their imagination. Something I've come across just this year, I don't know if it's new or not, is called The Bells of the Bible, or the Bible Bells. And we ordered this set for our granddaughter for Christmas. Please don't tell her if you see this. And it deals with 5 different women in the Bible. This one happens to be about Hannah. And it talks about it from a great perspective for somebody who's 7 to 10 years old. Just some really wonderful truths and a specific area. Like this is called the Bell of Prayer, but they're called the Bible Bells, and I can't wait to read this with Claire and to have her read it to me actually. And something else that we have found really helpful for kids is the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis, and they have a kids version as well as the adult version, and we would encourage that for anyone. They're just wonderful, and they take kids on a journey, and they learn some truths that are allegorical, but they're there, and they're awesome.
Yeah, talk about igniting your literary world.
Oh, yes.
I think the Chronicles of Narnia are just some of the best for that.
I do too, yes.
Well, there are some other books along with these that are, again, a little more specific. They're not necessarily the Bible, but this is a book called Boundaries, and I find this one so challenging. I've read it 2 or 3 times because I keep I keep needing help. Aww. What can I say? When to say yes, when to say no, to take control of your life by Clouden Townsend. So really recommend that. That's it's more of a probably along the self-help line, but it's very good for anyone that you see who just doesn't have very solid boundaries. I know they need to be permeable, but you got to have some boundaries at some point in your life, or you will wear yourself out and get wrung out. So that's just a great book to suggest. There you go.
And perhaps you or someone that you know is a member of a book club. I know I am, and we meet once a month, and we have our book list at the beginning of the year, and usually it's before that. So a really great idea is just to buy your friend, your loved one, something that's on their book list that they would be reading anyway, that they might have to buy for themselves. And this is a book that's going to be on our book list for next year. It's by James Alexander Thom. It's called Long Knife. And he's also the author of a great book that we have read previously called Follow the River that Dave actually ended up reading as well.
I really like that book.
It's excellent. It takes us kind of on a little bit of a journey from where my family's from in West Virginia. So these are great books as well to consider when you're buying gifts. I happen to be a Carol Burnett fanatic, and one of my friends bought me this book, In Such Good Company. I have a couple of her books, and so that's another great way to just get something to read in someone's hands. Is just find out what they love, what they're passionate about, and there's usually good biographies out there on people that we really admire, and Carol Burnett is one of mine.
Again, ask questions of your loved one and say, hey, what are you interested in? She's a Carol Burnett fanatic. I'm a little bit of a Civil War history buff. And so this particular book, Killer Angels, it's been out for a while, Pulitzer Prize winner, by Jeff Shaara. His son has written a series of books that follow up on this or follow this line of historical novel. And it is excellent. It's sad in the sense of it's in the middle of the Civil War. It's the Battle of Gettysburg. But it is very, very, what can I say? It grabs you. And it may grab the person that you know that is, somewhat of a Civil War history person, or even just a history person. So that could be very helpful for them. And then I'm going to pull one way out of left field here and called Understanding Wood. It is a, yeah. I like to do some woodworking.
Can you understand wood?
Yeah. What do you think of wood? Anyway, I like working with wood, and perhaps sometime we'll start a video series on woodworking of some kind. But it's excellent. I have some friends who are very much into woodworking and understanding grain and, you know, shrinkage and all those kinds of things. So there are also those kind of pretty technical books that could be a great gift this Christmas for someone you love. Fantastic.
One of my favorite gifts that I received, book-wise, it was from my father. And we were a very musical family, all of us, and loved the old hymns as well as, personally, the new worship songs that are so scripturally based. But my father got me this book. This was one of the last gifts he gave to me before he went to be with the Lord. And it's called How Sweet the Sound by George Beverly Shea. And there's a foreword in here by Billy Graham himself. And actually, it's a historical chronology of the hymns and why they were written and what the context was of when they were written and what was happening to the songwriter, the hymn writer at that time. And I tell you what, it just makes those hymns come alive and gives us so much more meaning. And so the book is very meaningful to me for so many reasons, and it's just a great gift.
Well, we've been mentioning the hard copies. You may want to give somebody the gift of a subscription to Audible. There are some books that I have listened to on Audible that I probably would not have read, but they just were great for listening to on Audible. Now, some books are more, you know, suited to being read in a hard copy format, but Audible could be a great gift this Christmas for somebody that you love and care about. So that's another option as well. And now, maybe you have suggestions. Would you please just put them in the comments below? Suggestions about something you've received. You thought, man, that was a great book. You didn't mention that one. Please put it in the suggestions below. Likewise, perhaps you're thinking of getting somebody a gift. Write that in the comments below. Hey, here's what I'm getting for somebody this Christmas. All of those things, we just want to hear from you. And that's very helpful.
And one of the things that was shared with me several years ago was to think about 4 gifts that particularly kids, but anybody could use. Something to wear, something to read, something they want, something they need. And so we are really dealing with that second one, something to read, because you just can't go wrong expanding the mind of anyone, young to old.
Again, igniting your literary world.
Right.
Well, if you found some value in this video, we do hope that you'll click that like button and also subscribe, and then even click the bell up there that will let you receive notifications of future videos as they come out. Until we meet again, I'm Dave.
I'm Jen, and thanks for joining us. Happy reading. Lord bless.
May it be so.